Happy Sunday. Heading into Sunday night. Just doing a quick live. Want to talk about this Black Friday deal that I have going on right now. Hopefully everyone can see and hear me okay. Actually, do me a favor. Drop me a comment. Let me know that you can see and hear me okay. And then we'll get into it. How was y'all's Thanksgiving? How was your weekend? Mine was very low key. My wife is still not able to get back into the country right now. I don't know if you've caught that in any of my previous lives, but she is not in the country right now, and we're working out stuff with her citizenship. But yeah, so I have to be here for my New Year's Eve party, or I would be with her. But we will be together in January at the latest. So again, do me a favor, drop a comment, let me know that you can see and hear me okay. Even if you're watching the replay, say hello. It helps more people find my channel and find biblical truth. All right, so really quickly, I want to share with you something that I'm doing for Black Friday, something I've been working really hard on. I have a program for men called Man of Options. You may have seen me talk about it. I don't really promote it probably as hard as I should. And I've been spending a lot of time on it, and it's becoming more and more valuable for the men that are involved. And I thought, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't share it with more often. So yeah, we're going to take a look at it quickly today. The problem that I really see, what motivated me to create this program, was when I discovered this truth. I thought to myself, there's, guys they're going to come across this and they're going to jack their life up. They're just because they can have more women, they're going to go out and they're going to do something wrong. And they're going to try to bring it up to their wife, and they're just going to blow their family up. And many men will never be able to even attain it. They'll learn about it, but they'll go, where would I even find a woman that would be on board with this? So I thought, my mission, one of my missions in life has always been to make marriage great again. Even before I knew the truth about biblical marriage, I was kind of the poster boy for sexual purity. I wrote a book called Why Waiting Works. I had the #1 viral video in the world called 10 Reasons Not to Have Sex Before Marriage. And I really just felt like what needs to happen is we need to get men and women married again. They need to start valuing sex and, physical intimacy, but they need to get married and build families. I just did everything wrong in my previous life. And that's what motivated me to write the book. But when I discovered the truth about biblical marriage, it was yes, I believe in sexual purity, waiting till marriage. Me and my wife waited. But then I saw the other piece of the puzzle, which was a man can marry more than one, which made it a lot easier to make that decision. It makes waiting a lot easier, to be honest, because I don't even know anybody that waited until marriage, except there was maybe 1 or 2 couples at my old church that actually made it to their wedding night, and they actually saved sex for marriage. It's very difficult to do. It's almost an impossible standard, and neither one of them were virgins. But they waited with each other, which is still way better than most. But true monogamy is one man, one woman for life, which we rarely see. And that's why the devil loves it, because it's such almost an impossible standard. But anyway, that being said, that was one of the motivations behind creating the program. Man of Options was, not wanting guys to jack their life up, but also wanting to put them in a position that they could actually get the goal, reach the goal, get the prize, and be able to be the kind of man that a woman would gladly share if that's what God called him to. But the issue that I see now is that most of the guys that I come across, they're just trying to do it alone. They're trying to do life alone. They're trying to level up on their own. They're trying to prospect and navigate their way to biblical marriage in a world that's not built for a man to have this belief. So the brotherhood, the Man of Options is a course. It's it's almost like life coaching in a lot of ways. I'm going to share a couple things with you, but it's also a brotherhood. It's about 25 or 30 guys that all have the same belief. They all love Jesus, and they're all either pursuing biblical marriage or practicing it already. We have a couple guys that already have more than one wife. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I know and I can teach on, but there's other things that the guys in the program that they know that I don't, that they teach on. And we all help each other level up. They say iron sharpens iron. So that's the big thing that I see is a lot of guys are trying to do this by themselves, and they either burn out or they just, they never reach the goal. because it is hard. This is hard work. And a lot of the guys that I've seen come across this in the past is they just go straight to like, christianpolygamy.com. They get on a dating app and they're like swiping, trying to find girls. It's like, bro, it doesn't work like that. You have to level up. You have to become the kind of man that a woman would share, which is not an average man. If women actually knew the kind of things that we talk about in Man of Options, they would love it, because we are literally equipping men to be the kind of husbands that these women pray for. But they just think it's about, the guys just want sex and you're just whatever, manipulating women. I don't know what they think exactly, but it's so really quickly, I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain. I'm going to share a little bit with you. And then I'm going to tell you what the Black Friday deal is. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, if you got any questions or comments about anything I say, leave it in the comments. I'll check it tomorrow morning, tonight and tomorrow morning. So this is the program here. You can see it's set up with archetypes. Okay, so we have 8 different archetypes. So these are the different, priority areas of your life. These are different personality types, so to speak, that a man really must become in order to be the kind of man that could cover more than one woman well. And again, biblical marriage doesn't necessarily even mean polygyny. It just means the options on the table. I'm not practicing polygyny, but my wife knows that it's my biblical right. If God calls me to it, I'm going to do it. And she's signed up for that. So it could very well be, I might be monogamous for the rest of my life. I don't know what God's going to call me to, but I just know that biblical marriage includes polygyny. So one of the things that I feel like that I can really help men with is marrying your first wife with, marrying your first wife with polygyny being on the table, because I did that. Right. So here we go. Let's move this over. Make it a little bigger. Let's see if that's better. No, let's try this. Nope. Let's try that. That's good enough. Okay. So, but that in itself is a heck of an achievement, because in the world that we live in, women are not told that they're supposed to share. So to have the kind of frame that you can say, hey, listen, you have to educate women and even tell them what it is. Most of them never even heard of it, but then you have to be able to pass the shit tests that are going to come inevitably when you stand on this, when you raise your banner. Okay, so these are the archetypes here. Really quickly, I'm just going to show you a little bit. So the captain, this is probably my favorite. We start here because it's all about your mission and your vision. Okay, a man without a mission cannot lead a woman, because he doesn't even know where he's going. So this is where we start. We start with getting you really crystal clear on what are you here for? What is your purpose? And then reverse engineering a plan to get there. So by the end of this course, you have your mission, you have a clearly articulated mission statement, your values for your family. You have a time management system so that you can actually go out and hit the ground running and achieve these things. This is all stuff that I was taught by high performance coaches, and literally some of my proudest accomplishments in life I was able to get accomplished because of these systems that I was taught. A lot of guys they just drift. They have all these ideas of things they want to do, but because they've never really been taught how to focus and make their calendar work for them, and really even identify what those few things are, they try to do too many things and they don't get anything done. So this solves that problem. So by the end of it, you are dialed in on exactly what you're here for. Actually going back, this is what it looks like. Each of these numbers here, each of these are lessons inside the course. The captain is the course. Each of these are lessons. At the end of each lesson, not at the end of every lesson, but at the end of a lot of lessons, there's an exercise. Okay, so you would read through this, you would download this vision statement template, you would print it out, and then you would complete the exercise, and then you'd have the result. So again, this is one of my favorite. I think the captain is really the most important thing to do, because I personally believe that it's purpose before person. And if you're out there looking for a lot, and a lot of men do this, this is what most men do, is they want to go out. They don't want to wait, because waiting sucks. So they just go out and they look for the person before they even know what the purpose is. So I don't believe it works like that. I don't think God's going to give you a helpmate, and he may. I'm not saying it never happens, but you're not in the best position to find your helpmate when you don't even know what you need help with. Okay. So we're going to get dialed in on your mission and your vision. This is huge. That alone is worth every penny that this course that you would pay, because figuring out your purpose is going to change your life. It's going to breathe so much, it's going to make you jump out of bed in the morning. Okay. Like, not working some BS job that you don't like. No, what were you put on this earth to do? Let's figure it out. Okay. That's the first one. Then there's the priest archetype, where we're talking about how to be the priest of your home, the provider. This is a whole lesson on basically your finances, how to up your income and where to invest your money, like exactly what buckets to put your investments in. I actually had Joe Brown from Heresy Financial come in and do a call with the guys, and I spent $2,000 on his course, and I took a lot of that information and I put it here for everybody to learn. So Joe Brown, he's made me a lot of money just in the last year listening to his advice. So his whole system is in here. We have Warrior. This is going to help you get into great physical shape, get your diet on point. This is all about Master is all about frame, which is probably one of the most important things if you're going to try to achieve biblical marriage, because you're going to need to understand frame on a deep level, and you're going to need to be able to stand in that masculine presence when you're tested. So I was texting with one of the guys in the program today, and he's being shit tested by his current wife. So this is really important to understand. And then we have the hunter, which is all about prospecting. This is all about, now, how do we go out once you do all this work? Okay, you notice that it's way down here, the hunter, because we don't want you going out and trying to find a woman right away. First thing you got to do is you got to get the foundation laid. You got to get all these other things in place, and then we're going to show you how to go out and look for a woman in this world where women have been indoctrinated on Disney. Okay, so you can't go out looking like a man that's looking for monogamy only. You have to prospect differently. So we have a whole system for this, a whole course. Yeah, this right here is looks maxing. So getting your look right, getting your haircut and your fashion, your look down. I know people will say, "Oh my God, that's so worldly." Well, listen, you want a woman that's beautiful, I bet, right? You want a woman that's physically attractive. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, I know God's going to do his part, but you also need to do your part. So we have a whole lesson. It's only one lesson on looks maxing, but this whole course is really the hunter is about prospecting in a world, like I said, of women that have been taught that they shouldn't share a man, and we're going to teach you how to go about that anyway. And then lastly, we have the husband. Okay, that's still you can see that's still a draft, still being worked on. And then the lover. So we're going to teach you how to be good in bed for when you're married. And of course, we got all of our brother. Oh, and then we have the advanced hunter course, which is a work in progress, which actually is a whole system of how to prospect on Facebook and Instagram only. And it's a brilliant system. Dating apps, very difficult to meet a woman on dating apps, because a woman on a dating app is like playing a video game with all the cheat codes, because literally most men are like, I forget the numbers exactly, but they're getting bombarded. Their inbox is just full of men that have matched with them. And sometimes they just get overwhelmed and they get off. We're going to teach you how to prospect on social media, because there are a lot more single women on social media that aren't on dating apps for that very reason, because they just don't want to be bombarded. And we're going to show you how to do that. And then of course, the Brotherhood Pulse calls. So even with the course, so we have all of our calls in here from the past year and even from previous years. Stop sharing here for a second. Anyway, all that being said, the course is super valuable. I mean, there's, I don't even know, tens of thousands of dollars of information that I actually paid people, other coaches, high performance coaches that I've learned over the years that are in that programs. Some things I've brought in specialists in different areas, like Joe Brown with Heresy Financial. Rich Tidwell did a piece on lawfully available women. So when you're out prospecting, if she's even available, or would you be committing adultery? Super important thing to know. How to rate your marriage vows, how to get legally married without a state marriage license. So we cover a lot of stuff in there. But even with all that, the most valuable part of the program is the brotherhood. So we do a Thursday night call every week. We do a Thursday night call, and we share wins, and we go over, sometimes what's in the course and exercise or whatever, and we do it together, and then we come back. And sometimes guys are going through different things with their family, or maybe they share a story about a woman that they cold approached at the gym, and we give them feedback. And one of the things a guy said recently, actually, let me just pull it up so I don't quote. He was having some issues with his with a family member. And what did he say? Yeah, he said, hard to see family and friends turn into enemies. Thankful for this group. If we didn't have this, man, it would be a lonely world. Man, I'm like, he's right, because when you really step into this, if you believe believe in biblical marriage, and really make your voice heard, make this known, you're going to be probably ostracized from a lot of communities. So the brotherhood is super powerful because it gives us a chance to connect with other people that believe what we believe and see the world in the same way, and we can cheer each other on, and we can also help each other level up. So that is really what Man of Options is about. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I haven't seen a single comment come through. That would be super awkward if I was muted or something. But this is the deal. Okay, right now I'm doing a Black Friday special. It's $597 for the entire year. So it's half price of what it normally is. It's normally $99 a month. And this is for new members only. Actually, yeah, it's for new members only. And yeah, basically you get all the modules, all the course, and the brotherhood for one price of $597 for the entire year. It's going to be over on Monday at midnight. Don't message me and ask me to extend it, because that will be the deadline. So if you'd like to get in, now would be the time. If you have any questions about it, again, drop them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. But this program is for men who really want to lead. They want to lead their family. They want to grow in, their faith. They're growing their discipline. They want to grow in strength and their finances. They want to build families and legacies, and men who are just done drifting. So, and which is what I see a lot of, men just out there spinning their wheels in place, so to speak, and they're not going anywhere. They're not progressing, right? So I want to help you with that. I want you to get into the brotherhood so you can actually achieve some of these goals that you have. But who this course is not for, this is not for people that are looking for a shortcut, or spectators, or, victim mentality people like, oh, there's just no good women out there anymore. And no, listen, this is for people that are ready to do the work and to level up to become the kind of man that a woman would gladly share if God calls them to it. And we have all the information at your fingertips for you to do that. So $597 for the year. That's half what it costs paying monthly at $99. Closes Monday at midnight. And just lastly, to end, I want you to picture your life in 1 year from now. Imagine that whatever that dream is that you have, that you've actually achieved it. I know for me that once I discovered the truth about biblical marriage, of course, I wanted to get married. And do I think about having more than one? I do. I don't know if God will call me to it, but once I had done a lot of this work prior to meeting, to knowing the truth about biblical marriage, but I've achieved a lot in the last 2 years, a little over 2 years since learning it. I got a beautiful wife that's a fantastic helpmate. I got a baby on the way, got money in the bank, got a strong purpose that, makes me jump out of bed every morning. And my life is full, and I've still got a lot more that I want to accomplish. But I just want you to imagine, 1 year from now, imagine that your life, you're just more grounded, you're more disciplined, you're stronger, you're leaner, you're clear about your mission, you know exactly where you're going, and you're just surrounded by men that are cheering you on and want you to grow. So if this is resonating with you, don't overthink it. Just, click the link in the post, step into the brotherhood, and let's build from here. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I will see you next time. Oh, got a quick message. Healthy Green Lifestyle said, do you think America is going to war? Yes, I do. Watch some of my videos. I got a prophetic word 25 years ago. And God told me that America is going to go to war with China. First, yeah, I don't know what order it's going to happen in, but he told me there was going to be economic collapse. It's going to cause in this country. It's going to cause a global depression. So I would recommend that you buy some gold and silver now. And he told me that the United States was going to go to war with China. So I would bet my life on both of those things. Literally, I would bet my life on both of those things that they're going to happen. It's not a if, it's just a when. So yeah, I don't know what's going to make that kick off. Maybe it's the Venezuela thing, or I'm not sure. But I can tell you, if you have cash in the bank, get it into assets, because they're just going to print you into poverty right now. We're in something called a doom loop. So gold and silver, I still think I made videos on this a while back, and I was telling people to buy silver when it was like $20 an ounce. Now it's 50, 55 or something. I told my mom to buy gold when it was $300 an ounce, $302 an ounce. I remember. And I actually picked up some. This was many years ago that I had to sell just to live off of, unfortunately. But yes, we are going to war. It's just I don't know when. So yeah, I got some videos on this. But Black Friday till tomorrow at midnight. I hope to see some of you guys in there.